What up, baby? Pastor D. Checking back in on this amazing Friday. Y'all already know what time it is. That's right, yeah. Yeah. No cap. You chat right here on Hope TV, baby. Yeah, where the students take over. And y'all know what it is. No cap, baby. It's their perspective, their truth, their authenticity, baby. And they bringing it to you live. So look. Let's not hold back any further. Super excited because y'all already know I got some dope, dope, dope. I got some dope people joining me today. Some amazing students joining me today. First and foremost, listen, he don't never need no introduction. I got the OG, the bearded one, Beard Gang, my boy Javian representing Morehouse, my collegiate students. J-Man, what's happening, baby? What's up, big dog?
Yes, sir.
There it is. Hey, man, listen. Hey, man, that y'all might as well, that joker, that's a bad boy. Y'all already know what time it is. Look, next up, listen, I got another collegiate student. I've been waiting on him, y'all. I've been waiting on him. He representing the Fort Valley State University. He's a sophomore. My boy is majoring in electrical engineering. Pastor D got tongue twisted. Y'all give a special shout out and a warm welcome to the big dog TJ. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up with you? Happy to be here.
There you go. There you go. And listen, this young lady I'm about to introduce, she the mastermind behind all the camera work at the ministry. Like she got an eye like nobody else. And she's super dope. Represent Dutchtown High School. Come on, Jakai. Talk to him, girl. What's up? Oh, she gonna enter all shy. Yo, welcome to No Cap You Chat. Listen, we just gonna jump straight into. Y'all already know what time it is. This is where those students can be raw. I'm about to ask some questions that, as a youth pastor, I've been waiting to hear their perspective on. So look, let's just jump straight into it. Let me start with this one, and this could go to any one of y'all. When you think about faith, when you think about Christianity, right? When you think about you as a student, like what barriers do you think from a student's perspective what barriers do you guys face when it comes to faith, Christianity, religion? Like what barriers do y'all face? Who want to take the first question?
I'll jump in there on the first one. Okay, so the barrier that I face as far as my faith has to be, of course, we know that faith is um you know you don't necessarily have to see something to have faith in it. So I'll say the absence of something being visible
Yup.
might be the struggle as far as my faith. But during this whole quarantine and even since I've been in college, it's just something about being away from home that makes you have to discover what you believe for yourself. So already I grew up in the church. I've grown up in the church. Everybody knew me throughout the church. Been involved in ministry up until I graduated, and then after I graduated, that came the time where I really had to, concentrate on my faith for myself, get stronger in that area. And I can honestly say it has grown in a positive direction as far as for me. And even through this whole quarantine, just the fact that you literally have no choice but to stay in the house, that gives you ample opportunity to get a deeper and more profound relationship with God. So that's what I've been doing, and that's how I feel about faith overall.
Got you. Jakai, represent my high schoolers. If you had, what barriers did you face or did you have to overcome in reference to your faith? Like, or like what barriers did you have to face when it comes to faith, religion, Christianity? Talk to me, Jakai.
Well, I grew up in church. Every Sunday, Wednesdays, we would go to church. We would always pray. I would sing in the choir and stuff, but I never really had a real encounter with God.
Ooh.
A year and some change ago, me and my family started coming to the House of Hope. And the first Sunday we were there was this girl, and her mom and her had been praying. There had been a lot going on with her and her family. And the girl was like, the devil just said something to me, if I pray, he's going to kill me in my sleep. And that really opened my eyes to something new. And I had never really saw what could happen. So after seeing that, I was like, yeah, I have to stay prayed up. I have to, start trusting in God more because I know that he can move mountains for us.
Oh, all right now. Hold on. Don't start preaching now. Hold on. Don't start dropping gems yet. Nah, teaser. All right. So let me ask you this then, TJ. From a student's lens, right? What do you think blocks a lot of students to, and this ain't just students because adults deal with it too, right? But from the student's perspective, what do you think is a blocker for them when they to go all in when it comes to God and for God? Like, what do you think blocks them and prevents them from giving it their all?
I feel like one thing that I know youth as a whole have a problem with is like peer pressure. So I know like they have friends that like aren't as involved in the church as they are, and they think of it as uncool or why would you do that? And it's just like you're at a young age, your friends mean more to you than like family. Like I know that's not the case for myself or some of my peers, but I know for the younger generation, their friends influence the majority of what they do. So I feel like that whisper in their ear is what defers some from going all in with church and all in with the ministry.
So let me ask y'all this then. That's heavy. So that peer pressure, that pressure from like, what does it look like? Like I want to know from a youth pastor's perspective, like what are they saying? How are they influencing you to kind of be on that scale where it's like, God, I want to be all for you, but I don't like how they looking at me. Talk to me. What some of them pressures look like to y'all, or what pressures have you guys experienced?
Well, I would say that just the concept of being faithful is foreign to the world. It's popular to be.
Wait. Say it again. Say it for him, big dog. What you say now?
I said I said being faithful is foreign to the world
Hey
because
man, y'all better catch that gem, boy.
it's popular to not be in the church, even though it's also popular to be in the church. But still, it's popular not to be in the church. Popular to um, say that you believe in God. The most popular thing I can say that I'm seeing, as long as I've been alive, people that say that they do believe in God, but then show something different with their actions. That's extremely popular, and I see that in my generation specifically. But yeah, it's popular to not be on fire for God, and it's even more popular to be on fire for everything that is of this world. Rather than being transformed by the renewal of our mind, that the Bible tells us to, people rather would be conformed to this world. So I think that's just what it is. It's the fact that being faithful is foreign to some people, and they're more comfortable with being popular in the society.
Man, come on, Jakai. Like, what have you faced any pressures from any of your peers when it comes to like just figuring out like, boom, am I gonna be all God or am I like? And I know y'all. I know a lot of us talk about it from a high school stand. Like when y'all was in elementary, middle school. Now, like Jakai, you in high school, y'all too. Y'all in college. Like pressure is pressure, and it ain't never gonna go nowhere. But at what point do y'all just be like, you know what? I'm gonna take a stand for me. I'm gonna do me, and I'm just gonna be me, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like why is that difficult for students? And I know that's a very open question. And I was a student, and I probably ain't even had to answer but why is that difficult from your standpoint? To kind of like, why is that difficult to overcome that pressure from other people for on you not being who you say that you are?
Well, I think we're all just afraid of being judged. I know for me, I would be talking to my friends and they would be like, on Sunday, I did this or I went here. And I'm like, well, did you go to church? Did you pray? Did you
Right.
have an encounter with God? And they would be like, no. I was like, well, I would just be like, well, I mean, that's a problem for me. And I would, I would pray before I would eat. I would listen to gospel music at school on the bus and stuff. And people would be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. What's wrong with you?
Right.
I just believe that, people would talk about me, and I believe that if you aren't trying to be close with God, then why am I trying to be close with you?
Wow. Whoa. Whoa. TJ, talk to me, man. What pressure you done fake? Cause you kind of like, look, I'm me, baby. Y'all ain't got to worry about that. Like, what pressures have you faced, TJ?
I feel like for me, it was different from high school going to college. Cause in high school, every Sunday, I had a mom to wake me up. Oh, we going to church, get dressed, going to church. But in college, I just have myself and my roommates. And, you know, they might not be as involved in church or involved in the word as I am. So it was just trying to force myself. Like in high school, I had my mom, but now it's up to me to step up and, jump into my faith and jump into my belief. And although I don't go to church physically, I still tune in to the House of Hope online. I found that is a good compromise for me, especially my freshman year when I didn't have a car. You know, I feel like that was a struggle for me.
I feel you, man. I feel you. So let me ask y'all this then, like with this pressure thing, because I know when I was a student, like I know I felt it, right? But at the same time, it was just like it was really what. So what with the like what makes from your you all's point of view, what makes church unpopular, or what is it about Jesus or God that like has people like Jakai was like people think she was sad because she was listening to praise and worship music, right? Like what is it? What makes people think like God is like? I'll talk to me like I'm trying to grasp the question, but like why is church unpopular to what us old folks say to young folk?
Well, I think it depends on the individual. People have different experiences with the church, and some are good, some
Ooh,
are, some
okay.
people experience more hypocrites in the church than they experience saints.
Time
And
out. Pause
that,
right there. Time out. Pause right there. From a student perspective, we got like look, y'all good with us being real. Y'all good with them being real. Like, what does a hypocrite look like? Give me an example of a hypocrite from a student's perspective.
okay, a hypocrite for a student's perspective would be somebody that you saw in the church. Say there's somebody that's in leadership in the church, okay,
Yeah.
leadership position, and he's in church praying over people, you know, looking as if he is doing exactly what God wants him to do. And if you just saw him in that church, you would think that he lived a life that showed Jesus in everything that he did, in all of his actions. But say
Mm-hmm.
that you see this same person outside of the church and he's doing everything that goes against everything that he just preached about, everything that he just prayed about. That type of effect on the individual will steer them away from the church, because you're looking at him and you're looking at the people that haven't been in the church. And it looks like the people that don't go to the church are more real than the person that's in the church. So that's
So let
just,
me ask
that's,
you, so a hypocrite in ministry from a student's lens, does that tarnish the way that you view God?
hmm. Mm, well, not, no, I don't think that would tarnish the way you view God, unless you have, because there are also some people that are angry with God, which could be another reason why they don't want to go to church, because of something they've experienced in their life that they don't understand necessarily, and they don't find it as just or right. Say they lost a loved one. You never understand what people actually go through until you actually have a conversation with them. And people have different experiences with everything in life, and they might be associating those experiences that look as bad to them, as experiences that have to do with God. And that might not necessarily be a bad thing, when it comes to God's plan. But because we are human and our thoughts aren't like his thoughts, it's easy for us to assume that if we're in that situation, that God doesn't have our best interest if we lost a loved one. But we all know, well, not we all know, but those who follow God know that he always has our best interests. And I feel like not everybody has that same mindset, which is part of the reason they steer away from church.
Okay, so for TJ or Jakai, has anybody like tarnished your view or changed your view when it comes to God because they show one thing? Like, and I love this, and this is powerful because this lets us know as leadership, as parents, as pastors, as honestly anybody of the older generation in ministry, that you guys not only have your eyes on us at all times in ministry, but there's weight that comes with that, because if we're teaching you guys to love God, to go after God with everything you got, but we show anything like we don't show that ourselves, like it affects y'all, from what I'm hearing, pretty big. It'll either fire you up for God or it'll turn you away from him, right? So like, have you guys experienced that, TJ or Jakai?
I used to think that people's actions would kind of affect their um praise, I guess. But now I look at it and I'm like, well, that's you. You can do whatever you want to do. But for me, I'm just still going to believe in what I believe and follow God's purpose. Because if I don't, there might be some roughy roads along the way for me. And if I pray now, later on, those roads might not be so roughy.
TJ, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Personally, I haven't had that experience where somebody has tarnished my view of gospel and the ministry personally for me, but I can see how that would affect somebody's view, because for me, seeing is believing for me, and that's what I had to get over, you know jumping into my faith, believing in things that aren't there. But some people, seeing is believing for them. Like, that's like, in order to go into something, you have to, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, flow, bro. You good. I love it.
I believe, like, as I was saying earlier, like, that hasn't happened to me, but I can see how seeing somebody do a certain type of thing, like doing a certain type of thing in the church, and then turning around, clubbing all throughout the week, things like that, like going against everything that they've either learned and or taught, can be like detrimental to one's like progress.
Okay. Good. That's dope. Now, so when you guys were, Jakai, you currently are in our youth ministry, and definitely one of the leads that that's getting ready to transition into leadership, just because of how you carry yourself, just how just dope you are, and you've got some amazing leadership qualities about you. But like, from you guys' lens, what, like, I'm a youth pastor. And this is a question I think a lot of us youth pastors really want to ask you guys, like, how can we connect with you guys better, or what can we do to connect with you guys from a ministry perspective, so that we all can grow together, we all can like make this time of your lives and this experience with God, like, how can we come together in that sense? And I think that's just from a youth pastor's heart, because a lot of people like to talk about the generations that follow theirs, because they like, man, them young people, they don't want to love Jesus. They just out here want to shake their tails, and they want to just do drugs, and they want to do all this crazy stuff. And some of y'all just be looking like, I ain't never did nothing today in my life, right? Like, how can we connect with y'all better, so that we can this journey, like I was telling the students on Bible study yesterday, like this faith walk is a step-by-step thing. And just as you're walking the journey, like I'm right there with you, walking alongside of you, rooting you on. If you fall, I'm there to help pick you up. If I fall, like y'all there to help pick me up. Like, how can we connect better with students, from a leadership perspective?
Well, one thing I believe youth pastor's job is to lead the students. So if there's something going on at home or at school, I believe that I could be able to go to my youth pastor and tell my youth pastor. First, I want them to pray with me. Second, I want them to tell me, what can I do to prevent this problem, to confront the problem, to kill the cat, and just let the person who's doing stuff to me, or let whatever's bothering me, just how to let it go.
Why do you think it's difficult for students to come to their youth pastors then? Like, I know there's a process, there's trust that has to be earned, right? But like, why do you think some students are hesitant, or possibly hesitant to like, hey, Pastor D, man, I just want to lay it all on the table, man. This is what's going on at the crib. Because the reality is, us adults, like if I'm going through as an adult, I know I can hit up Pastor Smith and be like, hey, Pastor Smith, man, whenever you got a little time, can I holler at you? And one thing that I love about him is, like, if I text him or I call him, he answers the phone. He never like, what's up, D? Talk to me. What's on your mind? And I'm able to be open with him without that judgment piece that you guys talked about. But I'm an adult. Like, what do you think causes students to be hesitant to reach out to their youth pastors? And what, if they are hesitant, what advice would you give them?
I think what you said about the judgment is extremely significant, because I feel like people don't open up to certain people because of fear of judgment. Not only that, because of that confidentiality, that feeling that, I can tell you this and I don't have to worry about you telling anybody, that has, just like you said, that has to be built. That's that relationship that has to be built. So I would say, yeah, that trust. So I would say, what should be required of a youth pastor? Just authenticity, just be who you are, just be the same person God made you to be. And then constantly seek that relationship with the individuals of the ministry. And I feel like that will help the whole ministry. Honestly, that will help the ministry as a whole.
I love it. TJ, talk to me, Doc.
I believe that sometimes real world problems need real world solutions. Like, if I come to you for advice about a problem that I'm having, at the same time, yes, the Lord should be in everything that we do. But I feel like people of the older generation are like force feeding, like trying to force feed the word into the throats of our youth. And
I got you. That's good, man.
I feel like that doesn't really help in a certain sense, especially with problems like at school, whether it be bullying, like problems with females or males or teachers for that matter.
Yeah. Wow, that's heavy, that force feeding. Like, why do you think the older generation, and I think I can answer a little bit being older. I think for us, when we see you guys, we see amazing potential. And like a parent, Like we want to make, like if we see something ahead of time, or we see you guys getting ready to walk close to the edge or get ready to make a mistake, or you come to us about something, it's like we want to give you everything. That way you don't experience what we've experienced, right? And I know that's kind of difficult to try to keep you guys from falling all the time. But it's like if you come to me something and I know God helped me through it, my testimony or my conversation with you is gonna be, look, let's just go straight to the point. All you got to do is do this. Trust him, like all your heart, lean out onto your own, like stuff. And I hear you. It feels like, man, y'all just trying to Jesus me all the way to death, right? But I think it comes from an amazing place. It comes from a pure place, from us to you guys, to where we don't want you to, if we can help you avoid it, man, and when I say if we can help you see that he can help you avoid it, like we always nope, go to him. Nope, yep, talk to him. Yep, nope, he's gonna do X, Y, Z. Remember what, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel where you coming from, because sometimes we can Jesus you down to the socks. and like you said, that real world, like, man, I just came to you to ask about, like, is it okay to date a girl? Like, I ain't asked nothing about marriage. So I know, like, we can kind of overdo it sometimes, and I appreciate you just being raw with that thing, being authentic, right? So I got a question for y'all, and this is coming from you pastors. Like, I hope you pastors are checking into this, but this is a question that I've always wanted to ask a student. And when I first came to House of Hope and I met with the students, and I was introduced to them, and I met my first thing was, hey man, this is you guys' ministry, and I want to make sure that everything that we do is through you guys. Like, you guys have a vision, you play a role in creating and doing. That's how we got this whole no cap youth chat. Like, students was like, hey, Pastor D, we got something to say. And I'm like, bet, let's get it. Right. So when you envision youth ministry, right, what do you see? Like, when you think about a super dope popping youth ministry, like, what do you see? What does it look like to you? Jakai, let me start with you, because you behind the camera a lot. And I know you got that super dope eye. Like, so when you envision youth ministry, and when I say youth, I'm not just talking about like nursery, K through, I'm talking about like you being a teenager. What do you see? Like talk to me.
Well, when I envision youth ministry, I just see a perfect place. I mean, realistically, I see a perfect place. Everybody's having fun, just being with the Lord, and just bringing creative ideas towards each other. You know how people form cliques in school and stuff? Well, youth group, youth ministry should be a place where we shouldn't have to worry about cliques. We shouldn't have to worry about people talking about us. We should just have a place where we can just be with each other and fellowship with each other, instead of having all the adults around.
When you see youth, and I know you ain't been in youth in like a year, right? No, I'm teasing. Like, when you were in youth ministry, what did you see? Like, what did you want it to look like? What did you want it, like, music, from the music, from the visuals, like from all of the peers? Like, what do you envision when you think about youth ministry?
When I envision the youth ministry, well, first of all, I believe that all things evolve and all things grow. People innovate certain things. So I believe in my vision of youth church is like more modern. And when I say modern, I know some people are gonna think like, you know, urban rap, hip hop, like all that stuff isn't really modern. Like just something realistic, like something real, like something like upbeat, live, that us as kids or youth, not kids, youth can relate to.
I got you. Javen. Come on, OJ. Come on, OJ. Talk to me. I know it's been a minute, big dog. But what did you see?
I mean, when I was in the ministry, I envisioned a place of comfort, a place where youth weren't afraid to come, where they looked forward to coming. And, they were just looking forward to being in that environment because it was an environment full of love and understanding. And, that love and understanding obviously is associated with God. And when you can feel God's presence, in a specific environment, I feel like that's always going to attract people, even without, like, you don't necessarily have to mention the name of Jesus and somebody can still notice the Jesus all over you. I think that's the beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful thing about ministry in general, because just like TJ was talking about, force feeding the scriptures and force feeding God on people. I feel like when you're a Christian, you can do, the Bible says that you're going to know a tree by the fruit that it bears. When you're a Christian, you're going to bear the fruit of a Christian. So you don't have to overdo the fruit that you're already producing because you're already producing enough. So you just showing the characteristics of Christ as he's, influenced you, as he's influenced your life, the things that he's done for you, and you just ministering through who God is to you, and you letting him work through you. I feel like that's enough, honestly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, I'm a youth pastor. Let me just go ahead and drop this gem on you. When I see youth ministry, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't about me, right? It's about every student that comes through those doors. And when every time I've stepped into youth ministry, I always look at the students. I'm like, all right, let's get together. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this better. Matter of fact, what's your idea? Because the reality is that's your house, right? And for me as a pastor, I'm just honored to be the shepherd that God called to be like, hey, I want you to watch that flock. I want you to tend to that flock. I want you to protect that flock. I want you to teach that flock, right? But the reality is, like, I really love, like, right now, all of the students in our student ministry, like, anytime we drop, like, hey man, what's your ideas? They like, Pastor D, we don't want to do it like normal church. We want to do this. Like Jakai, when I came in, she was like, all right, so Pastor D, we need to start doing this. And I ain't gonna tell y'all what she told me. I don't want to give it away just yet. But she came just real with some really super dope ideas from her lens, and I loved it. And so, man, I went out, bought the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, if that's what you see as a student, let's make it happen. And if anybody got an issue with it, and they name ain't God, Jesus, or any of the like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? But I love that about y'all, man. And I love that you guys drop those gems. So y'all know how we end it off. We got to end it off with advice. And I think the question or the advice that I would ask you guys to give to students tonight is, when we get back from this quarantine and all of this stuff, and you get back to your youth ministry, like, what advice would you give to them to turn their whole youth ministry around? Like, is that like, hey, step up and be a lead? Like, don't be afraid to be you, be unashamed. Like, talk to me. What advice would you give them so that they can, like, the reality is, if we can spark it, man, y'all can start a powerful movement as students. I don't even know if y'all recognize how powerful y'all are, but that's for another episode, right? But what advice would you give students coming back and turning their whole youth ministry around?
I would just definitely say don't be afraid to try new things. If you never spoke to your youth pastor, you just go to youth church and go back to your parents. Definitely talk to the youth pastor. If you have any ideas, big or small, just let them know. And I mean, maybe your ideas might be a thing one day.
That's dope. That's dope. Appreciate that, Jakai. TJ, talk to me.
As you said earlier, just like don't be ashamed in your faith. And another thing, like you don't know how powerful this platform is, like how many people that you can reach and how many connections, friends, colleagues that you can make through this platform. So just, take advantage of it. Take dive in, like don't be afraid to just dive on in, man.
I love it, man. I love it, man. I love it. Come on, big dog. Come on. Drop some nuggets on me.
I would say definitely put your all into the ministry because, everybody that's in the ministry, every individual that's a part of it is a significant piece. And I feel like if everybody realizes that, then that would change the whole perspective. Once you feel significant in a situation, you start adding more naturally because you feel like you're needed. So I feel like everybody, when they're going back to the ministry, to your youth ministry, you should recognize your impact, recognize the fact that you are significant and that you are important and that you're a vital piece to that ministry. So then you can act as a vital piece by putting forth your best foot.
I love it. I love it, man. Look, once again, I told y'all, I got some of the dopest teens, youth that God has placed on this earth. Once again, thank y'all so much, man. Jakai, TJ, Javid, man, appreciate y'all always coming in, being honest, being real, never holding back, and just speaking from your heart, man. Look, once again, this is another episode of No Cap Youth Chat, where the students get to come on and just, they got something to say, baby. But look, we got a surprise for y'all. I can't let you go without giving you the surprise. So look, we've been talking to Pastor Smith, right? And look, fellas, ladies, well, let me say, ladies, I'm sorry, but I ain't sorry. Some of y'all might be dope with the sticks, and if you are, come on, jump in. But guess what? Pastor Smith said it's a go, and I get to announce it tonight. Yo, we got two tournaments getting ready to drop, and you're going to see that right after this. Listen, the first tournament is NBA 2K. You got to have 20, baby. You got to have 20. Now, Pastor D ain't good on no 2K. I've been trying to play it, and I'm terrible. But we got a tournament coming, and you guys are getting ready to see it. And guess what? You already know what time it is. It's going to be a cash prize. Yes, sir. Cash prize. Cash money, baby. And not just that. If you win the tournament, you go get the championship ring, baby. Yes, sir. Oh, we ain't playing no games. That's all my 2K20 players. And listen, let me go ahead and drop this now. Xbox players, no, I ain't got nothing for y'all right now. This is for everybody that's got the PS4, baby. The real game console, baby. There it is. You see it. So listen, get ready. Registration opens up next week. You better jump on and register because the first 16 is the first we taking, baby. And you got to when you get ready to register, make sure y'all read it. You got to make sure you read it because look, hey, no cap. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you don't read them instructions and you register, look, I ain't got no problem with booming you out. You know what I'm saying? So look, we're excited about that. And listen, when we drop the Madden tournament, I'm just gonna jump in for the fun because I already know I'm gonna take all y'all out. But it's okay. I'm just, I ain't gonna throw it on you like that. You know what I'm saying? But listen, look out for that. We're super excited. Remember, cash prize, championship ring. You could be crowned the first. Yep. the first House of Hope 2K tournament champ or Madden tournament champ. And look, all y'all old heads that used to play back in the day, this ain't for y'all. Nope. There is an age limit on it. There is an age limit. And yes, we will know who is playing. That means you can't play for your little brother and try to win the cash prize. And look, let me just drop this on you. Y'all know Pastor Smith. He was like, hey, Pastor D, how much should I give him? I was like, you really want to know? He was like, yeah. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. And he said, and I'm not going to tell you, make sure you register. Make sure you register. Because you know we ain't dropping $10, folks. Come on. We going all into the piggy bank. So look, thank y'all for tuning in to No Cap Youth Chat. Pastor D checking in just as a vessel to bring amazing students on the platform to speak raw, uncut, no cap, baby. So look, tune in. We got some super dope stuff following us. This Hope TV. Hey, we out this thing. Peace.